All right. Hi, Song. I'm MJ from the Philippines. First of all, congratulations, because I think anything you guys do in the Fast franchise is just successful. And I just want to say one thing I noticed is because of the camaraderie between the cast and the team. Can you just take us in, the fans, of how much of a family you guys already are since the beginning?
Um, it it's simple as that, MJ. It just happens that we're in a movie, but the feeling of family is probably identical to you getting together with your loved ones. And
Mhm.
it was amazing to have this reunion again and being invited back and seeing your old friends again. And it's just really natural. Everyone has their personality, but it's a dysfunctional family, but in the best way.
Who's the most dysfunctional for you?
I don't know if dysfunctional is the word, but I would say highest energy, like the heartbeat of the
Uh-huh.
party, the beat, that kind of the guy who sets the beat is Tyrese. He is the energy. When he comes in, the light turns on,
I
no
love
matter what.
that. And he was hilarious in this installment as well. Also, I just want to ask, of course, since we know that we have a movement in Hollywood right now, of course, about Asians, right? And you have had a lot of notable characters already. Was there a time that it was challenging for you before you landed the big roles?
Well, I think just the journey of an actor, MJ, is challenging. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't necessarily equate to because you're a person of color. It's just the
Uh-huh.
the the career path of an actor is always challenging. Even when you think, oh, he's in big roles now, it's I still think this could be my last role. You never know.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's the kind of the scary thing about art, right? It's that, people move on, but
Uncertainty.
yeah, or they bring you back, which is in this
Yes,
case,
also, uh-huh, hint,
yeah.
hint.
Hmm.
But also, how do you feel that the Fast franchise is one of the first films, of course, that always, well, it's not the first, but one of the biggest out there that celebrates diversity in all its form. It even takes us to the whole world, the places that we miss.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we have to celebrate that about this movie, that it's not normal, that it's not the norm, right? But,
Yes,
I
yes,
think that's why Fast is a pioneer in that diversity
yes.
casting, that, it doesn't matter what color you are, that common themes like family, are relatable to anyone and any color from any country.
Mhm. I love what you said about why should we say that this is not the norm when it comes to, because it should be, right. The standard that you're setting out there is such of good uh, inspiration to a lot of other people. But ever since that you joined Hollywood, or you joined acting this world, was there a time that you would say right now improved in terms of casting?
Say again, I can't hear you. I
Do
missed that
you
last
feel
part.
like, okay, do you feel like it improved already, the casting of people with diversity?
Do you think it do I think it's better? Sorry, can
Yes,
you
yes,
turn
yes,
MJ up? Oh, there we go. There we go.
yes,
Do I think it's better currently? This
yes, 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 yes.
Oh yeah, I mean the fact that there every day you see an Asian face on TV now or in a movie, right? That it is during crisis that we are in social media, but then Hollywood is always 3 steps ahead. And I don't feel like, we're in famine state anymore, that all the Asian American actors or Asian actors are fighting for scraps. There are great, great roles out there. And you see them from the big movies like Fast Nine to wonderful TV. And I hope that in a few years, we don't have to bring that up and have to say that, hey,
Yes,
you think it's better? I think that's just normal now, right?
yes. I can't wait for that day too. And thank you for your time, Song.
Thanks, MJ.
Thank
Appreciate your
you.
question.
All right. Hi, Justin. MJ Marfori here from the Philippines. And of course, we just want to congratulate you for, yet again, another successful over the top film. Okay.
Thank
So,
you.
first and foremost, how do you Or how does a production think of topping each scene from the last one, from the last brand? Yeah, I mean the the scenes were intense, insane, and literally out of this world,
Thank
right?
you. Um, I mean, I feel like that's my responsibility, you know, as the filmmaker to, you know, if we're lucky enough to earn the next chapter, to really always push it. And it's not just the action, you know, first it starts with the characters. Make sure that we have a journey, you know, to be able to kind of evolve and grow with them. And that's what I really take a lot of pride in what we do is that, you know, we started off as this car, you know, race movie with all these characters. And through the years, we've kind of acknowledged their evolution and their growth. And so I feel like every time we earn another one, it's for us to push the envelope and not to be labeled, you know? You know, we
Uh-huh.
start off as a car race movie, then we became this and that. And I think it's important to always be pushing ourselves. I think especially, you know, this franchise, and that was a commitment that when I sat down with Vin for the first time, I said, that's what we should strive for. And the fact that we're sitting here, you know, 15 years later with an opportunity to tell another story, yeah, you know, I wouldn't say that it would be, I wouldn't say it to you comfortably if I'm like, oh, I'm just going to push the action. The only way we can push the action is if we can really earn it through the emotions of the characters, you know? And so I feel like for me, the more we can push, the more we have to check ourselves to make sure emotionally we're connecting. And that's something that's very important.
But honestly, yeah, speaking of the emotional connection, you can't do that with a cast or a crew that you haven't been with for that much of a long time. It was so complex, and was it still challenging for you?
It's always challenging when you make a movie
Uh-huh.
because I think you know it's so artificial in terms of like just how everything gets done. But what I love is that you know we've all grown together, and you know you want it to be challenging. I think if I show up every day and everyone's like, yeah, I've done this before, and oh yeah, I've done that before, it'd be no fun. And I think the movie, I think you can feel it that when we all showed up, it was a commitment to challenge each other, you know. And
And
so yeah.
production wise, was pandemic in the equation upon the post production, or yeah, did you have
No,
issues?
we were when we shut down, it was March, and you know we were coming out in May, so the movie was pretty much done, you know. But I have to say, as a silver lining, I got a whole year to keep kind of re-engage a little bit. But the movie was already done, but I like to tweak, you know, and so I got in there, and I every frame, I just got to have more time with it that I've never had before. But yeah, I think the film was basically, I mean, we were on such a fast track at that point. We were about to go into final mix in March. So yeah, it ended up being, it's a nice little luxury that I never had before.
Ooh, okay. So you mentioned a while ago that you're lucky enough to have another chapter of the Fast franchise, but it seems like it's never gonna end because the story keeps on getting deeper and deeper, and the reconnection of characters are very much uh, evident and, of course, important in the story. So where do you see this in the next maybe three installments?
Well, like I said, I've always, I treat Fast Nine as the first film of the final chapter of this saga. You know, I think that there is just so like we have so many rich and complex characters that I definitely feel like, you know, we're going to live on and explore things in different, maybe different mediums and in different films and things. But I think the idea of all these characters together, the journey they've gone on together, Vin and I have been talking for the last 10 years about like, you know, well, how would we, what is this all about? And so I feel like nine represents the first film of the final chapter of that, of this journey.
That's nice. And ever since the Fast franchise celebrates diversity, and it's one of the things that in the forefront in Hollywood right now. So how do you feel about representing our culture as Asians, and having this $1 billion box office under your belt, and of course putting your talent in the forefront for everyone to be inspired about?
I first of all, I think I feel like, you know, I've been a professional filmmaker for 20 years, which is that's not a given, and what I love about the system is that you have to go and earn it, and I think when I started was a very different time for an Asian American, and the fights were different. And, I feel fortunate to have like worked with this an amazing studio that when I wanted to have dialogue about, it wasn't even really about diversity, it was about opportunity. To be able to create a system where a process where we always have build this net that we can go around the world and whoever is the best should get the job. It sounds so simple, but it was not the system back then. But the reason I love sticking around and keep growing and building is because of the people. I feel like the studio has been amazing at supporting that. And in some way, we've been building this the whole time, and then it became part of the conversation. And so I could tell you, it feels very organic and natural. It's who I am, and it was never kind of an agenda to be reactive. That feels good. And I'm really proud. I'm really proud of, to be able to be working with these great people, and the fact that our family seems to always be able to kind of keep growing, and there's new members joining us. And, and also you're talking about the fans, like when I started, it was barely anybody. And now like I travel the world and people stop me and talk to me about Fast and Furious. So I could tell you, all that is earned, and I'm very proud of everything.
Wow, thank you for your answer. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Great to see you. Thank you.